in most cases, with the French, you're able to make a lot of things happen in the feudal age. But we'll see how it'll fare for Puppypaw here today, because we're going to be playing on Hill and Dale, and we're in the game already. Let's go. So once again, Liquid DeMu in the color blue with the Holy Roman Empire, playing against Puppypaw, this time on Hill and Dale with the French.
Yeah, and getting to start on the deer is one of the things that obviously with Hill and Dale, you have your close deer spawn. We've been seeing deer openings start with the French a lot more often with players such as B or Anatan or even some of the other players like I've seen from Lucifron do at times before. And it really is nice being able to grab that survival techniques, have a very quick age up time, and that better, stronger food gathering rate. And now we're looking at HRE's base, and what do you think about this chapel location?
I mean, the chapel could be really good for him if he places it close to that wood line, and depending on how the deer work together with him here in this map, if he's able to lure them all the way close to his TC, he could get both the berries, the wood line, the gold, his starting sheep, and the deer, all in the range of the Archon. You could only make that better with a stone mine right next to that, but that would just be blowing the budget in the luck department there, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, every single resource other than stone would be my guess. Pushing those deer in, it's one of the things that a lot of times you'll be like, well, yeah, he's using his scout for that. He's missing so much information. It's worth it in the long run for HRE. They're the ones who kind of will control the pace if they play this defensive game and have these resources that are just too much for their opponents to deal with. And we're already starting to see that slow deer push come in from DeMu.
Yeah, I mean, he already found a good couple of sheep here, so he's going to be on 5 sheep there. He's not going to be too unhappy about that. Now, ideally, you would like to get at least 8. But I think overall, he'll be fine with that. He wants to use the time in order to lure his sheep, because if he waits too long, it might be the case that Puppypaw finds the deer in his base and just starts killing them, and then he'll no longer be able to lure them under his TC. And that would just be really, really unfortunate for him.
Yeah, and it looks like he might actually drop the chapel closer to the wood line on the stone side, just because where the deer location is a little bit easier for himself, and that is exactly what he does decide to do. And still a great chapel, as yes, he's missing gold, but all you need is your one extra prelate to move on out, and you can have your gold inspired, and not as much of a priority as the wood is early on and defending yourself up against the French.
But I think right now DeMu is being a little bit too greedy, because look at Puppypaw. He's rushing up his age up with 6 villagers right now. He wants to get that age up in and as soon as possible. And DeMu, he's still on gold right now. What's he going to do with the gold that he gets? I mean, he could invest that into a secondary prelate, but that's an eco investment. Right now, I think he needs to go into wood as soon as possible, because, man, that age up is going to be really, really fast from Puppypaw.
Yeah, and this is one of those things with French can play a couple different ways as far as kind of this early games goes. And with the deer opening, you can really send so many vills onto the School of Cavalry to get your age up through and still have the resources for a knight if he plays this right, although he might just be a little bit short right as it finishes.
Let's get his age up in now. He's going to be sending his prelate inside. Now lots of villagers are going to be inspired. He's going to get a lot of wood here really, really soon. But he's already sending villagers out to stone. That's, I think, the timing. It's just not going to be there for him, because right now Puppypaw already aging up 345 timing for the French. And DeMu, he's still on stone. He's never going to get that TC up in time.
Yep, and the knight already in queue and going to be popping out here in the next 20 seconds or so. Puppypaw just planning this early aggression with that first knight, but look at what else we just saw. Moving out to stone himself, so going for this secondary TC play as well.
I feel like DeMu, he's just playing this way too greedy right now. It feels so... I mean, if it pays off, it's gonna be really nice. But now the knight is out on the field, and DeMu, he's only sitting at 140 of the stone that he needs. He needs 350 stone.
Oh.
Okay, he notices. He notices the timing, is gonna go for the outpost. That should finish in time for him. Still has a single villager on gold, just for that slight trickle of gold. But I feel like that knight could still very likely idle these villagers quite a bit and definitely influence the placement of DeMu's TC. And Puppypaw, he's not stopping at one knight. He went for a second one as well.
Yeah, second knight on its way, but will be going with the resources for his secondary TC behind this. And yeah, you might say, oh yeah, DeMu might use that outpost in the long run, which he will. It definitely gives him a bunch of vision, a good old kind of protection structure for his chapel in the long run as well. But this knight might just find this Vil right as it is moving out to wall. Oh, and it actually is pulled on back.
Yeah, DeMu knows that the timing wasn't there for that wall to go up, and he pulls the villager back. That's a correct decision here from him. Puppypaw still doesn't have the resource for his second TC. Looks like the way it's going right now, DeMu's going to be first with his second TC. Tower getting a couple of good shots on that second knight, making sure both of them are going to be weak, makes it hard for Puppypaw to dive with them in any meaningful position. Now the question is going to be, where will DeMu place his secondary TC?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to mention. You said, yeah, DeMu's going to have the first timing for his secondary TC. Not a good location, most likely, of where he's going to be able to drop his second TC. Looks like he might even, yeah, there it is, right next to the gold, next to the berries, just kind of securing these initial resources, which is never really a feels good. As you see Puppypaw, he's going to move out and probably drop that TC on the far side deer.
Yeah, at least this secures DeMu some gold access here. Knight can't dive that just because it's still in range of the main TC. I'm not sure. I mean, DeMu, he went into so much greed already. I kind of want to see him continue with the greed and even go for a third TC here. Just because when you play against a friend...
Oh, when he does dive it, gets a Vil pick, doesn't delay the TC too much as DeMu just pulled about half those Vils off, but... just slowly starting to what I call kind of just start nickel and diming your opponent when you're the French. Just slowly ease out it, like this, eke out this eco lead with your villager production that's just a little bit faster, and slowly just get a Vil pick here and there as well as idle time here and there.
Yeah, and I mean, every little bit of idle time that he's causing, it's going to work out so well for him because his TC is produced faster. And now, DeMu, he spots that out. He knows that Puppypaw is also in a second TC. I mean, really, I would just really like DeMu to go for a third TC here, just because you want to be the player that scales, right? You want to be the player that scales. You want to dictate what's going on in this game. You want to put your opponent on a timer, not be the one that's on a timer. And I feel like a third TC, as greedy as it is, would achieve that for him here. Looks like instead he's going to be adding some production buildings here right now in Puppypaw. He's doing the smart thing. If DeMu goes for fast castle age here, it's definitely going to be with the Arachnids. And he moves out to wall all the relics on the map.
Yeah, I love this. It's one of the things that I feel like when I'm playing the games, I always think about it a minute too late. And I'm like, oh, I need to wall the relics. It's too late. But you can see how early and proactive Puppy is being. Also diving the gold mine and getting another Vil pick before DeMu is able to react and get any real return damage on that night. So still kind of continuing to eke out this lead. Farms forced to be transitioned into by DeMu, which under that chapel will be, you know, better in the long run for him, but will kind of give himself up even more this momentum here in the early game.
You always have to be so on edge when you play against the French, just because always the possibility of these knights charging in, getting a villager kill. It happens so quickly. By the time you react to the alert notification, a single villager will probably already be dead if you're not already looking at it. And yeah, I mean, Puppypaw already getting 2 villager kills here early on, has a 3 villager lead right now, and that's only going to get better and better for him as long as he keeps up. And looks like he's now macroing towards the castle age, already adding a blacksmith as well.
Is it macroing towards the castle, or is it more just maybe mismacroing, as he is very, very heavy on that food with that initial town center still in the deer. Knight charges back in, not able to be successful this time. Great reactions from DeMu. Although Puppypaw, he wants to continue to just cause idle time on that gold, because DeMu not really ever able to secure this gold until military comes out, and there is the spearman going to try to protect up these vills.
You might actually be right when it comes to the mist macro here a little bit, because Puppypaw also just clicked chivalry, so wants to heal up his knights a little bit again. But that's 200 gold. He could already have the gold that he needs to go up, but I feel like he could probably already have the food as well with a force drop off. Looks like he's getting both at roughly the same time.
Oh,
that's so close. And now with chivalry, that knight is going to be able to heal up to full again.
Yeah, just gonna act like nothing ever happened early on in this game, and all of a sudden we'll turn back around and no, there's Guildhall coming in, and it is the Guildhall, not Royal Institute, so kind of playing this more for the economic long game.
Yeah, Puppypaw doesn't want to risk anything. Should he fail with his initial pushes against DeMu, and I mean, DeMu definitely knows how to defend his bases if he wants to, and drag it out into longer stages of the game. Puppypaw wants to definitely have a leg in him.
He thought he had it. He thought DeMu wasn't paying attention, but DeMu just waited, baited for the perfect timing, and the spears turned, braced that night charge, and got a huge pick off in this mid game.
Ooh, yeah, that was such a good. I mean, honestly, if this was a couple of patches ago, I mean, we saw it time and time again where the Spearman brace got buffed with the time that it takes to deploy the brace, and that was so quickly the way the spears turned around and just immediately braced. It worked out excellently here for DeMu, and he's making a lot of spearmen right now. Does need to do so in order to defend against any potential raids and also get some map control out on the map, but this is a fearful unit that we're starting to see here. It's the Arbaletrier, and those... Man, I call them the Achery counter for a single reason. That +5 bonus armor that you're getting with the Gambison upgrade on your Arbaletrier, it's broken. When you play against a civilization that wants to make melee units, it just feels so broken.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he's starting to mass on up. Good job getting those Vills on out without a scratch on them. Knights needing to run around, spears chasing them down, but this has kind of forced DeMu fully back, and it's really weird saying that French is the first one to Castle Age. French is the one to beat HRE of all people to Castle Age.
Yeah, I mean, when both players play 2TC... Oh, that's a good catch. That's an amazing catch. Gets so much value out of that. Now the last knight probably also gonna be going down, and I mean, Gamberson so far hasn't been clicked, but DeMu probably doesn't know just how much military Puppypaw is out on the field. If he knew, he would probably just pull all of his spearmen right now and try to burn down that secondary TC, but it's so hard to tell at this point in time.
Yeah, Puppypaw just trying to distract, trying to be annoying with these spears with this one single knight, which is still alive until now. Great job by DeMu, but look at how many spears it took him to end up closing down on that knight. The Regnance is on its way up, 20 Vills on top of it, and Puppypaw is at a 9 Vill lead at this point.
Yeah, so economy definitely looking good here for Puppypaw. Both players have managed to grab all the eco upgrades from the feudal age here for themselves, so they're looking good in that department right now. And now the Gambison upgrade has been clicked by Puppypaw, and as soon as that completes, these Arbaletrier are gonna be freaking tanks against anything melee, and Puppypaw even managed to re-wall that relic there.
Yeah, and speaking of anything melee, that's the only thing DeMu has on his side. 27 spears, which is doing a really great job in deterring any of these knights, but Puppypaw has been making that swap over to the Arbs and should be pushing out with his group to try to defend that relic that DeMu's going to burn down.
Look at that, Puppypaw even grabbing the melee damage, the melee armor upgrade right now for these Arbaletrier. Gambison just about to complete. Now DeMu doesn't see that Gambison is literally at 99%. It's gonna finish now, and now they're...
Look at the difference there. Oh my gosh. That is absolutely wild. We saw the first attacks and it took them down to like half health with one swing. Now they're sitting there acting like tanks, but the relic has at least been picked up.
They take no damage. Look at that. Now the upgrade comes in. Still nothing. Nothing. They tickle. They tickle. They do nothing. It's insane. It's insane. They're supposed to counter anything heavily armored. And oh my god. Okay. Yeah, Arbaletrier, you gotta react with siege. You cannot even make horsemen against these. If you don't make siege, you're not killing them.
That was
simple as that.
That was absolutely wild on how efficient they were able to fight once the upgrades came through. But if you have that tier and that tech advantage, you are going to win those fights. And DeMu lost so many spears during that, which now will allow the knights to just be a little bit more effective. later on in the game, DeMu will be forced to slowly move out further and further out on this map.
It looks like Puppypaw knows his win condition. He's got 6 archery rangers out on the field, and it looks like DeMu doesn't know his because he's making horsemen, which do also only very little damage to these Arbaletrier, and I'm fearful right now. I feel DeMu needs to add a siege workshop as soon as possible. He's even grabbing inspired warriors to make his units as strong as possible. But if you have like 9 damage on your spearmen, it's not gonna do a lot against Arbaletrier with 8 melee armor.
Yeah, and one of the things that at least is going well for DeMu is he has 3 relics secured. We saw 2 in the outpost. I think 1 was in Regnance. And Puppypaw is actually the first one going into Siege. He's not only dropping a Siege Workshop, he's getting Siege Engineering. So his plan is about to be pressure.
Yeah, I mean, Puppypaw knows that the only way for him to lose these Arbaletrier numbers is if they get killed by a Mangonel. So definitely makes sense for him to be adding his own Siege Workshop in order to react to any Mangonels, get a Springled out. Isn't making a Springled yet, it's just out there in order to give him the ability to make Springled should DeMu go for any Mangonels. And look at the mass, he's also getting a keep up in his own base on all of these archery ranges, meaning that these Arbaletrier cost less than 100 resources to make each. They got archer level costs right there, and they're definitely worth more than an archer.
Yeah, villagers already moved over to that gold, going to be able to build a protective outpost as well as rebuild that gate if needed. But there's going to be bigger problems for DeMu as he just saw that Arb mass with a couple, and by couple I mean just a few horsemen moving on out compared to 37 Arbs.
Yeah, I mean right now, DeMu, he doesn't have anything in his army in order to deal with this. He has 3 relics, which is really nice on your HRE. It means that he will have a lot of resources passively coming in. He does have a lot of farms, but now Puppypaw is making a lot of rams, and these rams take out the farms really, really quickly. And with such an heavy investment in these still early stages of Castle Age, I want to call them. It's not the later stages of Castle Age for sure. I mean, he does have outposts here, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to hold this push, especially with so many Arbaletrier defending them.
Yeah, and I love how Puppy goes for 3 rams. With emergency repairs and with multiple armies clashing, you really will need more than just 1 or 2. And 3 rams is chosen to be enough. Arbs firing down on the back line. First ram taken down, trying to chase down on top of the Arb mass. But we can just see how that melee defense is working well, continuing to kite back. But DeMu doing a great job closing the gap, trying to get as much damage as possible on these.
It's like a clown show still. I would say that. He's just sniping down the horseman because that's the only unit that can do even a little bit of damage to these Arbaletrier. As soon as the horsemen are down, Puppypaw is just going to stop microing. Yep. He's just going to A-move as soon as the horseman goes down. Yeah, now it's the time. It's just going to be A-move. And Springle is already out. That means that DeMu is going to have to invest a lot into Siege in order to get any Mangonels out on the field and not have them get immediately sniped.
And I love this by Puppy. The few knights ran past, and it's so hard for DeMu to pull the spears back to try to chase the knights, so he's actually forced to do horsemen, and the Arbs have cleared up that military mass. Only 1 ram left, and there is a keep about to be finished by DeMu.
Yeah, that keep definitely needs to go up as soon as possible here. This might actually save him for a little bit here, but Puppypaw, he's just saying, okay, you got to keep on one side. I'm just going to hit from the other one. Outpost with an emplacement. I mean, the outpost is still going to do a good amount of damage here to these Arbaletrier unless he uses their ability and gets even more ranged armor as well.
And I love this by Puppypaw. He just goes, yeah, you dropped a static defense up there. I'm just going to walk right around it with my mass. And now he can drop rams from this side or start to be aggressive over there. Springled, though, needs to watch out as it is in the middle of nowhere. A couple more villagers, though, go down. A lot more idle time on these farms. Horsemen chasing back down onto those Arbs, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to be enough again.
Yeah, just the kiting. They're so easy to kite back with, and every time they fire, a unit from DeMu dies. Every time DeMu gets some hits in, it tickles.
Yep, and we can see there's only a few horsemen left, as you said. There's actually even a knight there, which is not the unit to be building against Arbs. That's actually... Puppypaw probably sees that and is happy.
Arbs just continuing to kite. Now there are no more horsemen here. it's just gonna run into the berries. It's gonna make it really hard for these melee units to path around the berries, and that's where Puppypaw is just comfortable staying in.
And not only that, look at where he is kited after that. If he clears this up, if DeMu is not able to finish this Arb mass, then he's about to have his stone and these gold villagers just nowhere to go. They're going to have to run out the front side or run straight through the Arb mass.
You think the Arbaletrier are surrounded by all sides? No, the Arbaletrier have surrounded you by being in a circle. And all the units go down here from DeMu, and there's still so many Arbaletrier remaining, and more units coming towards the side here from DeMu. He's not going to be able to run away because Puppypaw is already
on the other side.
Yeah, he's already on the other side. There's no way to escape. That's a lot of villagers here, and Puppypaw is 40 villagers ahead right now.
40 bills ahead, already on that opposite side with the Arbs. Like you said, Demu's running the corner, doesn't even have a palisade gate there built. Trying to fast build it and will just be running away, but that is so much idle time. And Puppy, he's just going to send that smaller mass to chase them and reposition to the front.
Oh my god, there are so many rams coming out as well right now. Just a train of rams on its way to Demu's base, and he's okay. That's a good move here from DeMu, not sending all the units away.
Good pickup though on the mango, as well as should be able to get a good amount of damage on some of these rams, but rams are so tanky.
Yeah, honestly, it's a little bit baffling just how tanky they are, even against melee units. Like, these horsemen take forever to clear them out, and sometimes it feels like it's been designed to be countered by knights, because honestly, the damage it takes in order to clear out these rams, it's frankly a little bit nuts sometimes. Like, have you seen spearmen trying to kill rams?
Yeah,
it's a freak show.
It is definitely sad. Speaking of this, this game starting to get sad. It feels like Puppypaw is just so far ahead in the eco numbers because of that Arb switch that wasn't spotted out from DeMu. That being said, the small little Arb mass on the backside is being cleared up, but the Rams have broken through the front, and villagers, they're starting to get taken down as the keep goes up, but the keep's also taking damage as it gets built as well.
Does have the horseman there, could try to prioritize taking down the Rams in order to keep that keep alive, and actually put some units inside the outpost, gets them out again, and now he's going to be able to take care of all of these Rams here. Keep's going to get repaired. He's going to manage to hold this position right now, and I mean, Puppypaw is now getting a forward keep. I think this could be any type of victory right now for Puppypaw. He could go for a sacred side victory. He's already got his farm transition mostly done, it would seem.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is the point when you're Puppypaw, you go ahead and you grab the sacred sites with some control just to start that timer, just to put a little bit of extra pressure on DeMu, because at the back of his mind, he knows he's going to have to break out. But what does Puppypaw do? He goes imp. And that's going to be where he's going to want to close this game.
Yeah, as soon as Imperial comes in, these Arbaletrier just become more and more frightening. College of Artillery as well means he's getting access to those really strong cannons. Could take down these keeps much easier than he can now. And I mean, DeMu, he has an insane number of horsemen out on the field right now. 36 horsemen, almost 40 with the ones that he has in queue.
Yeah, Puppypaw will need to worry about that Arb mass with that many horsemen, as he can get fully surrounded. Yes, it might have been a tickle, but it still will be a cascade of that, as that many horsemen will be able to effectively clear this. But there's a keep near. Arbs are going to try to kite back. DeMu trying to go for the surround. You can see he's using that closing gap, trying to use the movement speed, and gets a ton of those Arbs, just a ton of damage on top of it. But is it going to be enough, as Puppypaw is Imperial and should be able to hold this location?
Lead Arbaletrier being researched right now as well, and I mean, looking at the destruction value, doesn't look like DeMu got that much value out of his horsemen there. Just the Arbaletrier being tanky enough in order to just survive so many hits, and there is the critical number. I think with every single volley, he's able to kill one of those horsemen, meaning it's insanely hard for DeMu to get any good trades in there against them. Once again, does pick off a couple, but the main Arbaletrier mass still stands, and it's just getting reinforced further and further.
Yeah, and there's the Sacred Site victory starting. Arb mass has been upgraded. You see the lovely golden hats on top of him, and Puppy stonewalling to protect his eco, although DeMu hasn't really been able to break out of his little corner for quite some time.
Yeah, it's just so tough if you're DeMu right now. In order to break these Arbaletrier, you definitely need siege. But now that Puppypaw aged up with the College of Artillery, he also has access to the Culverins, and that just makes it harder and harder to get rid of, to like make your own siege. And Puppypaw, he's just still positioning himself right here in front of DeMu's base, saying, "Come on, get out, fight me. I know you won't."
Yeah, those Rams, though, he's been going on those Rams the whole game, but they get a different power once you get that Imperial Age tech on them. So, Puppypaw might get a little bit of extra upgrade there, as well as the Imp Age upgrades on those crossbows, but the siege is finally out for DeMu.
We are seeing that mangonel. Now Puppypaw, he needs to make either his own anti-siege or some cavalry here, but DeMu, he would already have the answer to cavalry with his own spearmen. Now, there aren't that many horsemen left alive anymore. We were at 40 earlier. Now we're only sitting at roughly 10. And this is just what happens when you wait so long with siege. And now Royal can come in as well. That could also take care of these mangonels. And spread formation coming in as well means that the damage is going to be minimized. It's coming out onto these Arbaletrier right now.
And the first couple shots have just been dodged so well, but it's not about the first couple, it's just about the consistency. If you're not able to take those mangoes down, you will end up taking a shot that will be too damaging to deal with. And look at Puppypaw. He has walled in the western sacred site as well, as we saw, and he is going to go ahead and make sure to secure the sacred sites for the long run, but to continue to keep pressure. And this is always what I love, is like, you don't just go for the sacred site victory by like just chilling behind it. You continue to press forward, but reinforce as well.
Exactly, and this is going to be really hard for DeMu to decap any of these sacred sites right now. Puppypaw also sitting on 150 villagers. His economy is looking really good. He's at almost 3,000 gold per minute right now. And food economy also looking way better than DeMu's currently. Doesn't have that tier 3 eco upgrade yet, but could grab them at any point in time. He definitely has the eco for it.
Yeah, as you said, 150 vills. He deleted 14 villagers and just threw them down the drain. As he said, I need more military. I have more than enough resources in the bank. And the cannon's starting to push forward. Mangonels, though. Oh, attacking the cannon first off. Cannon backing through the Arb mass. Great body blocking there by Puppypaw. However, the Mangonels get a huge shot and the cannon gets surrounded. Cannon gets taken down. Arbs are still alive, but Mangos are nowhere to be found anymore.
Horsemen themselves can't take any good engagements against these Arbaletrier. Now DeMu, he's getting some culverins out. He's getting some bombards out. I mean, people call Beastie CG cutie, but DeMu, he's definitely also a siege enjoyer, especially when it comes to using siege in order to take down units. And I mean, every time the culverin fires, every time the bombard fires, one of these Arbaletrier either gets to like 10 HP or gets taken down completely.
Yeah, and a lot of those are low health from those mangonel shots. We also have the keep. We also have the outpost just constantly firing shots. It all adds up over time. But Puppypaw, he's been ahead for so long as far as his eco goes. He's been able to afford to throw away units, but not for too much longer if DeMu starts to break out of this.
6 minutes remaining on the sacred side, as what guy is pointing out right now, and the economy are mostly similar right now, considering that Puppypaw still has a lot more units. Oh, the Royal Culverin able to one-shot the Culverin here from DeMu, and that's just really tough to deal with. I mean, with the College of Artillery, these cannons, they basically have like chemistry built in right now, and you can get chemistry on top of that. Keep looks to be taken down right now, though, by the cannons.
Culverin pushes up, takes out the Culverin on the other side. The key is going to be if the keep can stay alive long enough for the Culverin to push forward and take out the bombards on the other side. But the keep goes down. The Culverin about to go down as well. And DeMu has a free lane to take over, as well as a sacred site he could potentially decap.
Another keep is being built right now, though, by Puppypaw. If DeMu is able to push up in time, could potentially take that down with the bombards. Bombards are positioning, but Culverin already in place. And these are dangerous Culverins. They are spicy Culverins. If you blink, they take down one of your really expensive siege units in a single shot. And now DeMu, he's up to 2 Culverin again. So is Puppypaw though.
Yeah, and that's just the problem here is Puppypaw has those royal siege units just a little bit better, and we see one of the bombards get taken out. Culverin, though, gets sniped out by DeMu, and he might just be able to win this siege war in just a little bit. The next keep goes up, but it's already on fire. It's already starting to burn.
As repair coming in now, but it's really difficult to out-repair bombards, just because the damage is so much better than from trebuchets. And now, once again, the Culverins doing great damage here against the Arbaletrier. 3 Culverins out on the field right now for DeMu. Another Culverin going forward here from Puppypaw is being pushed back though. Now a keep is being built. Oh no! Oh, keep getting immediately destroyed from DeMu, and the cannon was just at the right place at the right time here for him, it looks like.
Yeah, it doesn't quite have that mangonel out to help him with this Arb mass, so the front line has just basically been obliterated yet again. DeMu has no more front line, just waiting for reinforcing units, but no more stone in the bank for Puppy to repair that keep right as he pushes the cannon back.
Looks like Puppypaw is also mixing up his composition right now, is adding in some horsemen, and now the Culverins, they're taking them out with every single shot. A Culverin dies, it's so hard to watch. The critical damage is just way better for these College of Artillery Culverins. They're just taking down a single Culverin with one shot from DeMu, and you just can't micro against that.
There's the mangonels that was needed so bad earlier on, but the damage is already done. Puppypaw, he held that positioning point for a while. Mangonel mass might just be enough to push the Arbs back. There isn't a keep in place anymore, I don't think.
Mangonel's getting some more good shots in, but
Oh, I lied.
now the army is just pushing forward and forward for Puppypaw, and DeMu, he doesn't have the production in order to keep up with this. There's almost 20 Arbaletrier in the queue right now for Puppypaw. He's just pumping out more and more. It's so cheap for him to do so. And at the same time, Puppypaw is just mining the map dry right now.
Yeah, he's dropping forward stables around that keep that's still on the central sacred site. He's going to have that proxy production. And like you said, not just Arbs, he's starting to get knights, starting to get horsemen to just raid the economy that DeMu has had to force out now because it's extended this game so long. The Guildhall definitely paying off with this choice for Puppypaw.
Speaking of Guildhall, how is the Guildhall looking right now? Is there still anything remaining in it, or has it been drained dry at any one point in time here? Let's take a look. Guildhall next to that TC.
We're not used to having the Guildhall. 30
Oh, it's looking good. It's looking good. Puppypaw is ready for a late game. Should it come down to it, he's prepared to drop a wonder if need be.
A wonder, 5 keeps. Take your choice of what you need there. Sacred victory approaching. At this point, I might claim it and just start dropping multiple keeps on these sacred sites or multiple stone walls around them, multiple layers. Puppypaw, like you said, bleeding the map dry of this gold, is trying to move out and take some of this extra gold that DeMu definitely needs.
Puppypaw has 5 Culverins versus the 3 from DeMu, and the Culverins from Puppypaw are just so much better. Look at that. 1-2 down.
The Vills, the boys have been pulled. Coming to help with the siege units, going to just burn down those Culverins, but the Culverins traded out as they needed to. Now the front line trying to be villagers, trying to be horsemen on this Arb mass and a keep. It's not going to be enough. Puppypaw looks like he has secured game number 2.
This was do or die for DeMu, but the Arbalists, they just do not die, and against the melee mass, they're just superior. Pushback is coming in, and surely GG gets called any time, any second now.
Puppypaw taking one.
There we go. GG comes in. Puppypaw taking game number 2.
Man, what an exciting game. There were a couple times DeMu looked like he was about to break out of that chokehold that Puppy put him in, but not quite able to do it. Arbs just proved to be too strong.
And it all came down to just the siege not being there early enough from DeMu. When he finally went for those mangonels, it just was too much time into the game, and the Arbaletrier mass just got so much value out there for Puppypaw early on.
Yeah, what a fun game. What an exciting game. But Puppypaw proves to be the victor once again, but the series is not over. This is a best of 5. So we'll be getting into the next map, and I'm wondering, I guess DeMu chooses his home map most likely, and it'll be mountain clearing.
We might be seeing China here on mountain clearing. I'm excited for that one. Are you?
I'm, yeah, you know, China is a civ that's usually fun to see on different maps depending on kind of how they're going to play it, but mountain clearing China is usually a fun and exciting one to see.